Growing up is realizing that it's the smallest things consistently over time that make the biggest difference. We don't just show up one day and boom, magically we're rich. Boom, magically we have our dream body. Boom, we have our dream career. We have everything we've ever wanted in life. No, that's not how it works, because with anything you do in life, consistency is the most important factor. You can be talented, you can have an incredible ability, you can have the best circumstances, but the number one thing that's going to determine what you achieve, this wind, what you achieve and how successful you are in anything in life is your consistency and your discipline. It sounds like it's the most simple thing, which I'm not going to argue. It is pretty simple, but it is one of the hardest things to do, because what happens when you wake up one day and you're tired, or it's raining, or it's snowing, or you're just in a bad mood, or you're going through a breakup, or you're just having a really shitty day? What happens? Consistency is really what is going to, I think, have you rooted in just working on your goals in general, because when that motivation fades, and I promise you it will sometime at some point, it happens to me as well. When it fades, you're going to have to rely on your discipline and consistency. So as somebody who is also currently working towards getting their dream life, I am going to share with you 5 healthy habits that have improved my life, made me feel better, but also have made me more consistent with all other areas of my life. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't know me, my name is Chelsea, and I just like to make content on here that I think inspires, uplifts people, motivates you. It's also like a little diary to myself, I think, because I learn so much when I make these videos and talk to you guys. So thank you for joining us. Okay, habit number 1. And it sounds so simple and like, oh, how old are you? Like 5. But genuinely, guys, waking up early makes a hell of a difference. And obviously that starts by going to bed at a decent time. So I would say start by making sure you have a bedtime, so you're not really fighting yourself when you do have to wake up early in the morning. But waking up early, and I am a little bit biased to this because I am naturally just a morning person, but I find I just have so much more time in my day. I am not waking up and rushing to go get ready for work or whatever it might be. What I used to do, especially when I was in high school, and I can't believe I functioned when I was doing this, I would only wake up and give myself enough time to get ready. I wouldn't give myself enough time to eat. I wouldn't give myself time to really do anything else except like brush my teeth, wash my face, put on my clothing, and go. And maybe do a little eyebrow pencil. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't give myself time to do that. And it felt like I was already starting my day in a rush. I'm running for the bus, running to class. And I think it just put me in a very chaotic headspace so early on in the day, which that's not helpful if you have a lot that you want to accomplish. Now I'm making sure that I take charge of my time and how my day starts. So let's say I have to leave the house by 9 a.m. I'm not going to wake up at 8. I'm not. For one, usually most of my commutes are minimum 30 minutes to an hour, but also I want to give myself time to sit in my bed for an extra 10 minutes and stare at the ceiling if I really want to. I give myself time to read so that my brain is slowly turning on. I give myself time to say some affirmations, to have a glass of water. I just don't think it's very conducive to your productivity or your success in general, or your overall well-being if you are waking up and jumping out of the bed in a rush. Your brain can't. I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm not a neurosurgeon, but I'm just saying I don't think it's very helpful to you and your mental space if you're waking up and immediately on go mode. Give yourself enough time in the morning to have a moment to yourself. Think about what you're going to do for your day. What is your intention for the day? Don't be a victim to the system or your schedule. Do not let your schedule bully you. This is your life. Habit number 2, and I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this one, but it works for me. My second habit is reading. Again, a bit biased here because I've been a bookworm since I was 13, 14, and I love to read. But I do think, especially in this age where almost everything is digital and online, and very social. It feels really nice to be able to disconnect from all of that, but still be consuming content, without feeling like I have to show up in a certain way. For one, when I read, it definitely, I can, like, my brain slows down, I slow down. I'm not in a rush to like get through all the words or like read anything super fast. I really do make sure I take the time for me and my book, and we read together. But it also, I think, just provides me with a bit of a break from having to think so much. I also find that reading allows me to learn a lot more words. If you're someone, let's say, for example, you're like looking to expand your vocabulary, reading is a great way to do that. You know, obviously there are tools online like Word of the Day or whatever it might be, but I don't know, I love reading. It really does allow me to slow down, and I feel like I'm spending my time doing something other than being on a device. And especially because everything has kind of migrated to online, literally, like, who doesn't work on a laptop, you know what I mean? Like, or a computer, wherever you are. Most people do, unless you're obviously in like retail or something like that. But it's really nice to be able to disconnect, I think. I almost look at it as like my quiet time, and obviously I know it's not exactly quiet time because sometimes I do play like music in the background just to create a little ambiance, but it is really nice to disconnect for a second and know that I can like sit with myself in this book, and it feels really good. Okay, number 3 kind of ties into the kind of ties into the tip that I just said, but this one is limiting your screen time. And before you're all like, well, duh, how many times in life have we been like, oh yeah, well, duh, but we're not actually implementing it, or we don't have the tools or like the capacity to actually implement it and like make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing? Limiting your screen time is so important, because I'm sure you all know it happens to the best of us, even myself sometimes. You can get sucked into the hole and not even realize how long you're spending on there. And I'm someone that I would consider myself pretty self-aware when it comes to knowing how much time I spend on social media and when I do get like caught in the algorithm. But there are other times where I will be scrolling for 30 minutes and I'm like, wait a second, whoa. After the 30 minutes have passed, I'm like, wait, what did I just do with my time? You know, it can get so distracting and you don't even realize it. Like, please guys, I'm begging you, just get off your phone. As much as it is an incredible tool, and I'm so grateful that I'm growing up in this generation where I do have a small device that can do so many different things, including record this video, it can also be an incredible time waster. Like, it's one thing, like, for me, for example, how I could like waste time is like spending all my time on Pinterest making boards about what I want my life to look like, but I'm not actually getting up to do those things so that I can actually live them. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just have such an overload of content that it doesn't feel like we've been on there very long, especially if you're looking at 30-second to a minute videos and just scrolling past them. It might not feel like you're on there too long, but I really do I'm trying to emphasize to you guys, just get up, look outside, touch some grass. Not right now because it's snowing where I am, but if there is grass where you are, just go outside. Go outside, look at the trees, smell the fresh air, disconnect from your device. I'm almost at a point where I can't even remember what it felt like before we had all of this technology. Like when I was really young and I wasn't on a cell phone and I was forced to use my house phone to connect with people. Like, I do, and I don't know, obviously maybe I was just a child and oblivious to a lot of things in the world, but I was very happy, and I find that I was a lot more creative and I spent my time doing so many other things, and I had more hobbies because I wasn't just on my phone. When you really think about it, like, this device really does take up all your freaking time. You could be doing a puzzle, you can paint, you can draw, play a sport outside. It can be anything fun, and that's why in my previous point I mentioned, like, reading is one of my favorite hobbies, because instead of me like sitting at home and staring at the ceiling and it's like, okay, well, I'm not on my phone, what do I do now? I have something to do and I have something to look forward to, and I'm still able to consume creativity without feeling like I'm like frying my brain and my eyes, you know? So what I try to do to limit my screen time is, one, if I have like a work day and I know I need to be productive, but I kind of want to have my phone near me, For music purposes or whatever it might be, I use like screen limiting apps. Like Flora is one that I use, and basically it just has like Pomodoro, I can't even pronounce this word, Pomodoro timers on it. So for 25 minutes, if I like, you're supposed to be like growing a tree, and if I leave the timer before, if I leave that my lock screen before the timer is up, then my tree dies, right? So those are little ways that you can kind of just not spend as much time on your phone. Obviously, also your phones have screen limits. I set mine to, I think, an hour and a half every day for social media. And when the timer's up, just don't go on there. Find something else to do. There's more things you could be doing in life. Do you want to get to like 70 years old and think, damn, I didn't achieve all that I wanted to, and I didn't get to do all of the things that I wanted to do because I was on social media? That doesn't sound great. And because we are in this generation where social media really is just now becoming widespread, I think, and our previous generations and our parents and our grandparents weren't able to be locked into it, we don't want to be the first generation of people that are like, you know what, guys, it wasn't money that limited my ability to achieve what I wanted to in life. It wasn't resources. It wasn't time. It was that I spent all of my time on social media with my damn phone. You don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, you know? Okay, the fourth habit is also, I feel like these are so obvious, but like really when you actually think about it, are we actually implementing all of these in our lives? Anyways, the fourth habit is to be physically active. And please don't be rolling your eyes at me when I say this one. I'm not here to say that everyone should be in the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week lifting heavy weights. It's not what I mean. I just want you to go outside and move your body. It makes an incredible difference on your mental health, your physical health, my emotional stability. I feel like it's like a little release when I get to like move my body. And there are so many different ways to do it. You can go on a 30-minute walk. That's what I was doing. I'm proud to say, obviously, like I am a part-time fitness instructor and I go to the gym pretty often, but I didn't just wake up one day and was like, I'm going to be a fitness instructor. No, the discipline came a year ago when all I could afford was just a regular gym membership. And I didn't really know what to do when I was going to the gym. But I forced myself to go most days because I was trying to build the habit of just somebody who goes to the gym. And I just started off by going for maybe 30 minutes doing small workouts. Then when the weather got nice, I would go outside on 20-minute walks. And then the 20-minute walks turned to 35-minute walks. And then I was like, nah, let's push it up to an hour. And then I was going on walks for an hour and a half. And obviously, I'm sure like not everybody always has the time to do that. But work with yourself and work with your schedule. You don't have to there's no one way to be physically active. And if you're saying, you know, like maybe you're happy with your physicality or whatever it is, like you don't have to be physically active for vain reasons. Like mentally, I feel so much better. My mind is so much clearer. And it feels nice to know that I'm showing up for myself in a different way. Aside from like, you know, going to work or trying to build my career, like I'm showing up for myself in multiple ways. Me personally, I have never been a gym girly. I would go just because it was all I had at the time, but I'm more of a Pilates, bar, bounce, rebounding kind of person. Find what you like. There are so many different things out there. If you want to do cycle fit, do cycle fit. If you want to do Arepa, do Arepa. If you want to do step classes, do step classes. But work with yourself and just try it. At the very least, just try. Go for 3 days a week. See how you feel. I've now gotten to the point where I can feel it in my body if I'm not in the gym enough. And I feel sore, I feel stiff, and it's not a good feeling. And if after watching this, you're like, you know what, Chelsea, no, I don't want to do it. I hate the gym. I don't like physical activity, blah, 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 blah. At the very least, I'm begging you, stretch. Just stretch. That you don't have to go anywhere to stretch. Your arms, your legs, your back, whatever it is. You don't want to get to 50 and you can't touch your toes. And before you're like, you're being dramatic, I've seen it. And that's no shade to anybody, but I'm just saying, like, you want to be able to feel good in your body. How lucky are we to be able to go outside and step, run, hop, skip, jump? Not everyone can do that. So just take care of your body. You know what I mean? It's the only one we have. So be kind to it. Okay, the fifth and final point that I have today is It's so hard. I'm still working on this myself. Not giving in to FOMO. Oh my goodness. And I struggle so hard with this one. And I think it's because I have so many friends and I love hanging out with all of them. And before you're coming after me and you're like, oh, well, lucky you, not all of us have that privilege. This is like, I'm not bragging or anything, but I find that it is actually a little bit harder to make decisions to stay home and not go hang out with people when I know that it's gonna be a good time every time. What I've learned is that your energy is limited. Like I mentioned in my first video, your energy is currency. You have to spend it wisely. And if I'm going out every day, even if it's not every day, if I'm going out every week, being social for multiple hours on end, I'm not going to have energy to pour into myself or into my habits or my goals that I'm like really trying to work on. I know my capacity and everybody's different. And as somebody who is, I would call myself a very extroverted introvert, because if you see me in person, I am so social. I can yap your ears off. But if I do that for too long, or if I spend too much time with people or spend too many days hanging out with people, I will feel completely drained. And I really do love my alone time where I'm able to recharge and refocus my energy. It just, I don't know. Like, I understand that sometimes it can be uneventful or boring to be home by yourself with your thoughts, but I find for myself that when I have the capacity to be bored and just think about anything, and there's no pressure and I'm not stressed or overwhelmed, that's when I get my best ideas for literally anything. It could be for what I like career-wise, what I'm working on. It could be for little hobbies that I want to pick up, little habits that I want to start. I really find that giving myself the capacity and the space to just be has in turn given me more energy to do things that really matter. The hangouts and the parties and all of the events will always be there. No one's gonna stop having parties just because you decided you want to spend a few weeks or a few months at your house working on yourself and your skills. They will be there. But for me, and I don't know where you guys are at in life, but for me personally, I don't have any children. I live with my family. I am not married. Like, I don't have humongous responsibilities right now. So while I have this advantage, I want to be able to work on building my life, my dream life, as much as I can now while the stakes are so low. The stakes are so low. And I just want to point out, like, if you do decide to, you know, spend a little more time with yourself and you are declining hangouts, if they're your real friends and they're your real people, they'll understand, because they'll say, you know what, it's a good thing that you are trying to better yourself, that you are working on yourself. They should want better for you as well, and they should understand. And if they do not understand that and they get upset, maybe they weren't always meant to be in your life, or maybe they're not the best friends for you or people in general, right? While I have this freedom, I'm going to use it to try and create the life of my dreams. Anyways, my loves, thank you so much for watching today. Wow, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any other habits that you guys find have like really transformed your life or really help you stay on track, comment them below. I'm curious to know. I would love to learn from you guys as well. But that is all for today. Until next time, have a wonderful day.